Let me, there we go. Got the little intro going.
That's cool.
All right. So, hey, luminaries, it's Piper. We have a guest with us today, Allie, and she has had some experiences with UFOs, UAPs, whatever it is that you're wanting to call them these days. And so she had one that was really, really kind of extraordinary where, the lights, they noticed the light in the sky and it actually started responding to her and her son. So, anyway, we'll show that here in a second. But first, let me introduce Allie. Say hi. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure your audio is good for this too. All right. Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and show this video real quick. It'll just take me a second to share it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you able to see it?
I don't see it.
Okay. Let me. They changed all the layouts. What about now? Oh, now it's just a. Where is it? Hold on. Okay, now we should be able to. Let me start it over here. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay, now we can see it, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll make it full screen and then we'll play it.
Mom, turn around.
Look, this is that colored thing.
Yeah, I know. Turn around.
Holy.
Stars are not orange.
What is that? What are you?
Star.
No, Hiram, look. It just totally changed shapes on here. And I'm not moving. Okay, guys, if you watched from the beginning of this, you saw, look. What is that? What are you? What are you?
Seems friendly.
Hi.
Maybe it's waving.
Do you want to change colors? Or is that just your color? What are you doing? Oh my God. What are you doing?
So that was it. That's the one that I saw.
Whoa. You're,
That's a drone.
you're very interesting.
What? It's turning into a circle.
Whoa.
Could you change colors?
Oh my God, it did!
Yeah! Yo, you're sweet!
Thank you for doing that for my baby.
Dude, you should come and dab me up. Seriously, not even gonna lie.
Oh my God, you are so beautiful. Oh, what the fuck? Pardon my mouth. Wow, you guys are so beautiful. Thank you for letting us see you. Thank you for changing colors for my son. You are amazing. Yes, you are welcome here. We're very excited to see you.
Yo, you can come in our house.
Well, yeah.
Cook up some food, you know what I'm saying?
This is amazing. This is one of the coolest ones I've ever seen out here.
I see that every night, though.
Not ones that change color like that. Oh my
My
god. What are you doing?
Is it possible that you can change colors to purple?
What do you think?
Grow large if you can't do purple.
Isn't that beautiful?
I see a hint of purple. I'm not even lying. I see a hint of purple.
You want to go turn off the porch light for me real quick?
Yeah. Dude, this thing is awesome.
Let's go shut off the porch light.
Yeah, you're not posting that to TikTok, are you?
No. There we go. Can you get bigger again?
Can you get bigger?
You don't have to. We just think it's really interesting.
Yo, if you visit us at 3 a.m., I'll come and cook you a turkey sandwich.
All right. I'm going to just let you do your thing, but I just wanted to thank you for showing us that. That's amazing.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for showing my little boy.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I mean, the second time he asked also, like, if it could change color, it did change color.
Yeah.
And
It did.
and then it eventually did turn to purple. It was just, you guys were talking about, like, turning off the light and stuff, but it did eventually turn to purple. I mean, that's just amazing.
It was. I know. I still can't really believe that happened, but
Were you able to? Oh, by the way, you're not going to put this on TikTok. No.
I swear people have given me so much crap about that, but I asked him after if we could put it up and he said yes.
I knew that would probably be something that might come up in the comment section, so I thought let's just address that now. But yeah, but the thing is that, well, first of all, were you able to, because you could see the all of that with the video, were you able to see that stuff with the naked eye too?
Did not see the changing shape part, but you could definitely see the color change like immediately just with your eye.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Okay, well, so you've had experiences like this before. You've had more than one experience, but let's start with, because they say that there are supposedly, with all this UFO stuff going on and the whistleblowers, they're saying that there are certain things in a person's life that can predispose them to seeing UFOs. And it's not like schizophrenia. That's not it, but like they say, somebody who's super empathetic, somebody who tends to be more emotional, which I'm not saying you're any of these things. I'm saying this is what they say. People who have a history of trauma. And then they say also that there is a possible link between poltergeist activity and these types of sightings or experiences. So I just kind of want to ask about your experiences with any. Do you have, first of all, you're a real super empath. I know that because we've talked a little bit, and we've talked about animals, and you're you're an animal lover, and you just seem to be an empath from my perspective. But what do you think?
Thought about that. I know. I mean, I definitely have a lot of empathy for animals, for people, for little kids. I've never considered myself to be an empath, but I don't know.
Right. What about, have you ever had any type of psychic experiences in your life? That's another thing that they've linked.
I would say more like strong intuition. Like I could always tell when one of my animals gets older, like if something bad's about to happen, I almost always know. And I've had experiences a few times where we got a phone call and it was a bad phone call, but I didn't know. And when we took the call, I just blurted out, "Oh, it's this." And 2 or 3 times that was accurate. It was exactly what I said. One was I said, oh, she's had a stroke, and she'd had a stroke. Or, oh, he died and he was dead. Not all the time, but it has.
That's interesting. Like almost like a knowing. It's not like you had some sort of premonition and saw it. It was almost just like a knowing.
Yeah, like it just came to me. Yeah, that has happened.
Yeah. I've had experiences like that even as a child. Um of knowing those things and being able to tell people, and they're like, oh, and then lo and behold, it really had happened.
Right.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, that to me sounds psychic, or I guess intuitive, like you said, is a good way to describe it. Have you, don't get into any details, but did you have any trauma in your history at all, in your childhood or teens or
Like,
young adult?
yeah, I mean, the whole way forward, I did.
Mm.
Absolutely. And there's been quite a bit recently, too, that's been going on, like within the time
Oh,
period. So, yeah, there's been a lot going on, and there was a lot going on my whole childhood up to now, really.
okay. So that fits. Um, well, is your family a real close knit family?
No, no.
Okay.
I parents live like 20 miles away, and I hardly ever talk to them. And if they see the kids, it's like a couple times a year, and that's not like my. That's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah. Um, as far as you can recall, what was the first time you ever had an experience with like one of the seeing something in the sky?
I don't know for sure. I know I've been told when I was a kid, when I was little, that things in the sky used to freak me out really bad, even if it was just like a radio tower or something, and I would cry and point at it. Um, the only thing I can really remember is when I was about 20, I was driving with my boyfriend on the interstate at night. We were in two separate cars, and we saw this orange thing on the mountain that looked like a fire, which is similar to something I saw a few years ago. And he wanted to stop and look at it, and I did not. I just took off. But I mean, really, the only one I can say for sure was something like that was 2019. I can say for sure I saw something crazy out here. And we've seen a lot of crazy things out here.
What happened in 2019?
So in 2019, I was walking across my living room, and we have these trapezoid windows. And I looked up at one of the windows, and I thought the mountain was on fire. But then I stopped and looked, and it was this huge orange triangle in the sky, just hovering. And you could see like different sections of lights on it that were somewhere on and somewhere off. And I was terrified of this thing, like terrified. And I was frozen. And then I texted the kid's dad, like, get out here. And he came running out because he'd been sleeping. And he was just, oh, you're just being crazy. And then he looked at it and he was like, what is that? So he went to go, and I don't know how long I watched it for before he came out. Could have been 2 minutes, it could have been 30. I don't know. I was just frozen. And he went to get his glasses. He got his glasses. He went out onto the porch. He pulled out his phone to video it, and it shot straight up into the sky until it just winked out and was gone.
Wow. Okay, you've said two things there that I want to talk about just because I've heard other, well, some people say that for whatever reason, these things have been really hard to capture on video,
Mm-hmm.
but now I guess there's in the UFO Twitterverse, they're saying that more people are catching them on video nowadays than what they were. I mean, we've had cell phones a long time. So it's,
Right.
I mean, relatively speaking. So, but just here in the past couple of years, 3 or 4 years, have people been able to actually capture them. I wonder, have you noticed that? Because you were able to capture this most recent one by
I
video.
and I don't know, people have theories that the one I saw, the orange one, was like government. People have that theory and didn't want to be captured. But it was very different the most recent time with my son, because that did not mind being videoed at all. it stayed. The orange one, gone. The second you pull out a camera, it was gone.
And another difference is that it seemed like all of the other experiences you had kind of creeped you out, like freaked you out and made you scared.
Not
But
kind of.
then, yeah, yeah. But then this one, like your son even said, it seems friendly. Like, so
Yeah.
you guys got this different vibe from
It
it
was
almost.
too, because I had talked to people on TikTok, because, you know, I said I've been seeing kind of weird stuff out here in the past. And people were like, we need to be like welcoming and not be so fearful and be friendly. So a lot of people gave me trouble in the video with my son because it sounded like I was talking to a dog. But that's because I was really scared, but I was trying to be friendly and welcoming. So it just came out just kind of cringe, like, hi. But it was definitely a very different experience once I had that attitude shift.
Oh, so you attribute the difference to your own attitude towards
But
it?
potentially, yeah, because I always was so scared. Like, we're talking about phobia scared. I would just shut off and like I couldn't. I mean, there were times because we would see weird things out here that if I would go to let my dogs out, I would just look at the ground because I didn't want to see what was going on. And so I decided consciously to be more curious, more friendly, more welcoming, and just kind of see what happened. And that's what happened pretty much immediately. As soon as I made that shift, that happened.
Isn't that interesting? Because that suggests that in some way they're able to, I say they, I don't know who they are, but
Right.
whatever this phenomenon is somehow able to sense maybe your thoughts
Yeah.
or.
Yeah. Because it was definitely a conscious thing. We saw it and I was like, okay, let's try to communicate and see what happens, you know? And I was nervous, but I wasn't like flat out terrified because a lot of people had been helping me with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Because, I'll talk just briefly about the experience that I made that video about and talk to you about, just
Mhm.
to say that whole thing came about because of a conscious decision I made.
Right.
And so that's interesting to me because it makes you wonder, like, are we creating our reality?
I don't know. I don't know. Immediately after I decided I was going to try, that happened.
Yeah. Wow. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
um did you mentioned that, like, as a kid, like, if you'd even see like radio towers or whatever, anything in the sky scared you? And you mentioned, like, when we were talking, that you had episodes of like sleep paralysis and sleep issues like that, and they associate, like, people a lot in that UFO community will say, those are all signs of abduction or what have you. But what do you think about that?
I don't know what to think. I mean, when I was a kid, I had both of those things happen, and the night terrors were like very extreme. It would start out, I would be in my bed and I would think I saw something in the corner of my room, and then I'd see like a bright light, and I could almost hear this like buzzing in the back of my skull, but I couldn't move. I would just be stuck. And it was so terrifying. And then it would transition into a night terror. And my parents have said that the night terrors lasted like inordinately long, like 4 to 6 hours, just going around in circles, saying things that didn't make sense, crying, screaming, like nobody could wake me up. They didn't wake me up, like nothing worked. And then I still have sleep paralysis occasionally, but the problem I really have is sleepwalking. I still absolutely do that. Like, I'll wake up downstairs or I'll wake up outside. I mean, I walked out of an airport hotel into a parking lot and woke up like in an express parking area one time. So
Wow.
definitely possible because I have major problems with both of those. Like, I might have to get a sleep study if it doesn't calm down a little bit.
That was going to be my question. Have you ever had a sleep study? Yeah. Wow. That's frightening though, because especially because you live in Montana and it's cold.
Right.
And I mean, you could freeze to death out there.
I lived in Alaska for years too, and I would wake up outside walking down the street, and I did not live in a good area. Like it's that
What were you in the military?
was not no.
Oh, okay. Were either of your parents?
My father was in the Navy.
Because you guys, well, you're in Montana, and really, I mean, there's a lot of military bases in Montana.
There are.
I looked like when I was, kind of trying to research for this,
Mhm.
and I think I saw like is Butte Butte? Is that how you say it?
Cute, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that, and then literally, I think there were 5 or 6 different.
And there's also missile sites out here too. My cousin's farm, they have a deactivated missile site, but when I was a kid, it was still active, and it was so weird. If you'd go outside, they live on the prairie. If you'd go outside and you'd stare at the missile site, they would come out. Guys would come out of there with guns and be like, "Look away!" It was very strange.
Really?
And there's Air
So
Force base stuff out here.
so they were doing top secret stuff out there, or
No, but they didn't want you looking at them.
right. I mean, I've been to, we have military bases here too, and one of them you can freely just go on to.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
Fort Bend.
nowhere too. There was nothing out there but their farm and just flat, and then these missile silos.
Wow. That opens up, like, because you mentioned that you thought possibly that orange triangle one could have been something like government related. And that really opens it up I mean, that is a possibility considering where you're located.
Yeah, that people that sound pretty intelligent have said, well, I think that's probably, government technology, and that's why they. And the weird part is, so like when I saw the orange triangle, like there was nothing out here besides that. But the day that we saw the thing with my son, there were helicopters flying around out here, like the big ones, the Chinooks that like shake your whole house. So I don't know what that means, but it was weird because we don't have military helicopters flying around outside our house.
That is weird. And it was the same day that you and with the video that we watched.
Same day, yeah. He was not home when that happened. He was at a friend's house. And he also told me that he saw that when he was at his friend's house, and he came home telling me that they had completely lost all cell phone service out there. He was there. And then he got back to the house and said, oh, that's what I was seeing. That's why he was like, turn around, look, because he had been seeing that at their house. That's what he told me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Oh, the whole thing is like mind bending.
If you think on it too much, I could see me getting really, yeah, paranoid too. I would start getting paranoid, I think.
I just know that the whole time we've lived in this house, we've seen really odd things. So it was
like
surprising. Well, we've seen like just lights all the time. And like one of the weirdest ones were these 2 round lights that were pretty big. They came up over the mountains and then they broke apart into 3s, and they would kind of dance around together and then come back together into 2 and then split up and come back and disappear. And I mean, there's another video of like this orange orb on my TikTok that we had seen just hanging out, pretty recently. Like there's always something going on out here. It seems like if you go out and look, you're probably going to see something if you wait long enough.
That's what I think too, because we kind of talked about that in text this morning, and I agree with that. I had never seen anything until I consciously said, okay, everybody is seeing these things. They say if you ask,
right,
and make a conscious, I guess, decision to believe and suspend disbelief, I guess, maybe is the better way of putting it, but that you'll see them. And lo and behold, I started having experiences after I made that conscious request to the universe or whatever. And there are so many things that, I mean, okay, wait, these could be demons and angels, right? They could be aliens as we know them, extraterrestrials. They could be something interdimensional, could be government. I mean, it is very mind bending.
Just know it's something. It's definitely something. Like there's too many of these things happening for it to just be, oh, I'm looking at a star, especially the one with my son. People were like, oh, that's just a star. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, stars don't change colors on request.
Moving around all over the place too.
Yeah. I mean, that's not how stars, yeah, it's not science that way. But it's a little creepy because whatever it is has to be aware of every single person in this whole world and their thoughts, because just little old me had the thought and it happened. You know what I mean?
I spent my entire life running from that stuff because I was so scared of it. Like I would actively choose to turn around and go back in the house and not look and not do anything. And then the second I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll try to communicate or will try to communicate, that happens. It's like, it's very weird. Agreed.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about it. It's almost shaken my whole perception of, well, ontological, my notions of reality and religion too.
No, me too. I just know that it's something, I just know, that's all I know, is that it is definitely something, which doesn't sound that intelligent, but I don't know what it is, but it's something.
Well, there's a monicum of intelligence when someone's able to admit that, I don't know, I don't get it, I don't understand. Yeah. Let's see if I had some questions written down, so I'm just gonna, have you seen any entities?
I have not. No, I've seen just the lights and things flying around and movement. That's all I've seen.
Have you seen anything inside your house? Have you had things weird happen inside your house?
No, it's always, whatever it is always outside. Thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, like 2 weeks ago I was sleepwalking, but that's it.
How close was that was that correlated at all with any type of sighting, that sleepwalking episode?
A couple weeks after the one with my son. And I mean, I'm just saying, like, we see things all the time. So I don't know if it's related to that.
Right.
It happens out here. I just don't know.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think that was all the questions I had, but do you have anything in particular that you wanted that I didn't bring up that is kind of a, interesting? Or
I mean, I don't think so. I did think it was really interesting that the one really positive interaction that I had was with my son there, because he has like the sweetest heart of anyone I've ever known. He can be a pain in the butt, but he has this huge, sweet, gentle heart. And so I did think it was really interesting that this was like responding to him, and he was just so excited and so happy. That was interesting to me.
Yeah. And I noticed when we were playing the video also, the whole, like, you hearing him, like, made you smile. I mean, it seemed like a good experience for both of you guys.
It was great. And it was something that we will always remember. It did not feel scary. It did not feel negative. It just felt good. And I was like, that's really changed my whole perspective on this stuff. I'm not going around so terrified now. If I see stuff, I'm still kind of apprehensive because of the night terrors and things I've had, but I'm no terrified. So it was almost like, I kind of almost thought, like, if these things wanted to communicate, and I've been spending my entire life avoiding them because I'm afraid of them, how would they get to me? Well, it would be through my kid, or, they want to talk to him. I don't know. but that would be the only way I'd ever be open to anything like that, would be through my kid.
Yeah. That's interesting and scary. It could be scary.
Oh no, you can't assume it's good. You
Yeah.
don't know. That would be my
Right.
spot, or my weak spot would be through my children. So
Yeah. Are you religious at all?
I'm not, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but you can always set an intention that, like, we only, if you're not for our good, or if you're not from God, we don't want you here, or
Right.
whatever, you know.
True
But
too. Because people were freaking out because he was inviting him into the house. And even when he said that, I was a little bit like, oh,
yeah, dousing salt all around your house.
I don't really know what this is, buddy. But
Yeah.
he seemed to
Well,
be,
you could just tell them we don't invite strangers in.
yeah, I know. I said that after. I was like, maybe let's not do that.
Yeah, let's at least meet them face to face first. They might look like praying mantises.
Go with us for now.
Yeah. Well, and so where can people find you? You're on TikTok, right?
I am. And the funny part is, like, I don't even know what my at is on TikTok. It's like,
I think it's Maryland's girl, but let me look.
I don't think there's any numbers or anything after it. I think it's just Maryland's girl.
Let me see.
It's funny. I don't even know.
I know. I rarely get on TikTok. And let's see.
There's definitely some really good people there in the,
Yeah.
community. There's a lot.
Oh, you're at Lost Girl 90 or 696.
Okay. And then my name is Maryland's girl.
Yeah, let me put it in the chat so anybody who comes later can go look it up. Lost Girl 696, Maryland's girl on TikTok.
It's kind of weird. That's like what my TikTok sort of is now. And it was just not anything about that before. It's just videos of whatever,
And it's evolved to UFO TikTok now.
Yeah.
But you've met a lot of really good people, and there are a lot of really good people in the UFO community.
Yes. They're kind. They want to help. They don't judge you for being afraid. That's
Right.
definitely, it's like a couple of people have totally changed my life, actually.
Wow. I think that, if someone is religious, I think that they could refer to the Bible where it says you can judge a tree by its fruits.
Mm-hmm.
So if only positive things are coming from this, these experiences.
Like some negative comments, but that's okay. And I told people, I said, any observations are welcome, because I don't know what this is. So even
Right.
the most positive, it's okay. I invited them to give me their opinion. I mean, they're going to anyway, but you're right. Like, the people that I have met have all been super positive.
Yeah. Well, and you're a positive person too, and people tend to attracts like, So, well, I want to say thank you for coming on, and I know that it's kind of a pain to just take this time out of the middle of an afternoon on a Sunday. So,
Well, once, because someone, you've been super patient.
oh, well, I'm in no hurry to do things either, typically. So I just kind of, I've got enough going on that I can stay busy and, do other things. So, but
And it was really nice to meet you too.
it was nice meeting you, and we'll definitely keep in touch because, it's been great getting to know you.
Else crazy happens too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being here. And to the audience, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening to us. Be kind in the comments. Love each other and yourselves. And we'll see you all soon. Bye. Peace.